It's not been the best of years for silver, but actually for this month so far, we've seen a strong run off the lows set towards the end of September. The price has bounced back by more than 10% for the month so far. So is silver finally turning the corner? I thought it'd be interesting to do an update on silver. All through this year, we've been looking at it, been saying it's been such a sideways market. We've got the chart here going back to July of last year. We saw a great run last summer, of course, but then since then we've seen just this broad sideways range, lots of support when the price slips below $22 an ounce, but has really struggled to get much further or to hold much above $28 an ounce. We did have this downtrend in place. I went short last time around. I got stopped out on the short with this latest rally, but I might be tempted to short again. But looking at the price now, it has pushed up from the September lows, traded as high as 24.47 today. We've still got these old problem areas though, around about $25 for silver. So the question is this the start of a recovery in silver, or actually, is it just a dead cat bounce before the price turns down and heads sub $22 again? I'll talk a bit more about what's been going on in silver over the last few weeks. We'll look at some of the levels, then we'll come back onto the charts and see if we can get a trade set up. Hello, I'm David Jones from Capital.com, and I thought we'd do an update on silver. We've seen a big move this month. As you saw on the chart, took me out of my short, but I still think there's another opportunity. More about that in a second. So as usual in this video, we'll talk a bit about what's been driving silver, what to look out for in the days and the weeks ahead, and then we'll jump back onto the platform and see what the next trade might be. As usual, if you're watching this and you haven't subscribed, if you could click on subscribe, it does help support the channel. It means we can continue to push out lots of different content on the various markets we cover throughout the week. Plus, of course, every Friday at 2:30 in the afternoon UK time, I run a live stream direct from my YouTube channel. If you're subscribed with the alarm bell notification pushed, you get a message off YouTube just as we're about to go live. Right, let's get into it and take a look at silver in a bit more detail. So we know it's been a volatile year so far. In February, we saw the price trade briefly above $30, very briefly. Then we had a flash crash in August and we saw the price back below $22 briefly. But overall, it's been a pretty sideways year. And I think there's been a few reasons for this. We've seen stock markets continue to do well, pushing out to fresh all-time highs on a regular basis. This has made the more defensive assets, such as silver, I think, less attractive to investors. Plus, with the US dollar, if you look at something like the US dollar index, it has recently pushed to its best levels in around a year. It's come off a bit since then, but a theme of a stronger dollar this year. This is something that's going to put pressure on the price of the likes of silver and gold. But of course, concerns about inflation, like we've said a few times, could still help boost the price of silver. Inflation, I think, worries are increasing, even though central banks are saying they expect it to be transitory. US inflation currently came in at a 13-year high, sitting at around 5.4%. So although central bankers do expect this to not last very long, if it does, I think we could see investors more willing to embrace what's seen as hedges against inflation, so assets such as silver. But it has been something of a disappointing year for silver. It's down by around 8% year to date. We've been drifting and overall sideways. A great performance so far in October. So where next? Let's talk about the levels to watch. Then we'll jump onto the platform and set the trade up. So for me, the big hurdle comes in around $25, $24.85, I think. These were the highs from the beginning of September. And this is the level I'm going to use for the trade. So even though silver has bounced back really strongly this month, we haven't yet at least taken out the September high. We'll see how the rest of October goes. On the downside, we've got good support. For me, the most major immediate support from October, earlier in October, comes in around $23. So as usual, to put some color on these numbers, let's take a look at the charts and see what the trade might be. So let's get back into it. That has been an impressive rally off those September lows. September lows were about $21.40. The price has traded so far today is about 24.47. So we've seen a $3 move off those lows for silver. That's an impressive move. It's about almost 15% in silver. We'll come back to the chart in a second, but let's take a look at the RSI down here. So RSI, overbought, oversold indicator. So it's used to signal when the market has perhaps moved to an extreme too quickly. But with the usual caveat, when markets are trending, it can move to an extreme far too quickly and get you to go against the trend. The latest strength we've seen in silver has pushed the RSI up to, actually it's its most overbought we've seen this RSI. We've got to go back right to the beginning of the year, sort of January, February time, to see the RSI this overbought. So if we were taking the view, well, has it gone too far? This bounce at the moment, the 10-day RSI is suggesting it will, but of course it's no silver bullet, pardon the pun. So what I want to do is take a look at the price action. So we'd had this trend off the highs in May. So the May highs came in around $28.75. The price of silver rolled over. And this trend did a pretty good job on the way down, but it's broken. Over the last week or so, we've seen this downtrend for silver break. But as I often say, when we look at trends, normally looking at trends the other way, just because we have the first break of a trend doesn't necessarily mean the trend is going to reverse. You know, it's very rare for markets to do this handbrake turn where they start going the other way straight away. So let's take a look at the intraday chart and see if we can plan a trade. So we're looking now at the 4-hour chart for silver. So each candle represents 4 hours worth of trading. There was that flash crash that we had in August. We had a flash crash in gold as well, but silver had the bigger move. We've seen the market in late September briefly probe below those lows and bounce back. But what's interesting for me when it comes to planning a trade is really these highs from early September coming in ahead of $25. That was still pretty much a major resistance level for silver. So even though that trend line has broken, for me, we still have a succession of lower highs and lower lows. So we've still got a downtrend for as long as $25 remains untouched. So the trade I'm going to do, I'm going to go short. And I'm going to put my stop loss somewhere above 25. So $25 for me is the first hurdle. After that, I think if we break 25, I start looking for a run back up to the early August highs at $26. So maybe I go 25.75 for a stop on the trade for silver. And what I'm really looking for here is for the market to go back and revisit those late September lows. So if we've got a downtrend in place, then if I'm expecting the trend to continue, should see a move back to those lows, if not further, down around 21.60, that sort of area. So for me, it's a trade that makes sense from a risk reward point of view. But as I say, if we saw it push much above $25, I do think then finally we are seeing this downtrend in silver reversing. Let's set the trade up. So I'm ready to go. The price at the moment is trading at $24.20. I would like to sell 225 ounces of silver. I'm going to put my stop loss in place at 25.75. So I think 25 is a big level. I'm going to give the market a bit more room. You can see my stop there on the chart. And the risk on this trade is the usual risk of around £250. Let's send the trade through, then we'll look at silver in a bit more detail. So that's it. I'm short silver at 24.20. That's done. And my stop is in place. Let's go back to the dailies now. And you can see on the daily chart, I think it's even clearer how $25 has been a hurdle. And so for me, if we do start probing and holding through that, I think my short position is wrong. And we can start looking for perhaps a stronger recovery from silver from these levels. But for now, it's been a good month so far. I'm treating it like a dead cat bounce, looking to see if silver can sell off. Let's see how the trade works out over the next few weeks. That's it for this update in silver. We'll see how the short works out this time round. Stopped out last time. That's what stop losses are for, of course, to manage the risk. We'll see if this one works out any better. We'll come back, we'll do an update. But for now, from me, David Jones and Capital.com, we'll leave things there. Good luck with your trading. For more trading videos just like this, please subscribe to our channel.